Hello, and welcome to the System Status tutorial by Brad Moore of Global Rentoscope. In this example, I will be logged onto Advanced Mode on GRAS 003. The status screen is the first screen that will appear when you first log on to any of our systems. The status screen contains a lot of useful information about the observatory, the telescope, the camera, and the current activity. Working from the top down, the first button on the system status screen is the welcome message. This button contains important information about the system. To reveal this information, click the welcome message button. As you can see here, we are imaging on a TAC TOA 150 with a SBIG ST10XME. It also contains information on how to contact Arnie Rosner or Brad Moore for live support. You can close the welcome message by clicking on the welcome message button again. By default, the welcome message is closed on all interfaces. The next button is the Preview Last Image button. This reveals the last exposure taken on the system. To reveal the last image, click on the button. By default, in Advanced Mode, the Preview Last Image button is closed. On Regular Mode, Teacher's Console, and the Student Console, the Preview Last Image is always open. You may find it beneficial to leave the Preview Last Image open. Each time an image is downloaded from the camera, a new preview image is created. You can refresh the image by clicking the Refresh Image button, or you can have it automatically refresh every 20 seconds by checking this checkbox. This way you can monitor the quality of each image as it comes off the camera. You can also view a larger version of the image by clicking on the image itself. This will bring up another web browser window and display a large version of the image. I will now close the Preview Last Image. The next button is the Auto Guider Preview. To open, simply click the button. The Auto Guider Preview is only available in Advanced Mode. The Auto Guider Preview will only run when the Auto Guider is running. I will visit this shortly when I kick off a sample imaging run. Below is the Observatory System Status, the Telescope Status, the Imager Status, and the Current Activity. In the Observatory Status column, you'll see that the system is available. This also could be in use or closed. You can see the UTC time. You can also see the local cylindrical time in RA hours, RA minutes, and RA seconds. The local cylindrical time is exactly the RA of the local meridian. The local system time and the local system date, and who the owner of the observatory is. In this case, it is free and available for log-on. You can also see the weather is NA. Please refer to the GRAS Info Center for more weather details on G3 or any other system. In the telescope column, you can see the telescope is currently stopped, or you may see it slewing, or you may also see it tracking. You can also see the RA and DEC of where the telescope is actually pointing, the azimuth and the altitude position, and the air mass of the current telescope position. In the Imager column, you will see that the CCD camera is currently idle, The filter is set to clear. The binning mode is 1x1. The current cooling temperature of the camera is at -10 degrees, and the guider is idle. If the guider was in use, you can see here that it will display the X error and the Y error. In the activity column, you can see the system is currently in an idle state, and the target selected is nothing as the system is not imaging. The next window down is the current running script output. Because the system is not in use, you can see that no script is running. If we had started an imaging run or started a script, you can simply abort it by clicking the Abort Script button. This is typically caused by a gust of wind. Let's have a look now at how the status screen changes when the observatory is in use. You can see here that the observatory is in use by Brad Moore. The telescope is tracking. The CCD imager is exposing for 900 seconds. The progress bar is approximately 1/4 of the way through its exposure. The filter is clear, the binning is at 1x1, and the camera is cooled to -10 degrees. We can also see that the guider is guiding, and the X and Y error is displayed here. You can also see in the activity column that we are currently imaging, and the target is M31. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the current output of the script. This contains important information about your imaging run. You can see that the last entry is taking a 900 second exposure with the clear filter, binning 1x1. Let's scroll up and have a look at the auto guider graph. To view the auto guider graph, please click the auto guider preview button. The auto guider graph is only available in advanced mode. The graph in real time logs the X and Y error over a 10-minute period. You can also see the guide star that the auto guider has locked onto. You need to manually refresh the graph by clicking on the auto guider refresh button, or click the checkbox to automatically update the graph every 15 seconds. What you're looking out for on the auto guider graph is to ensure the guide errors do not exceed more than 2 pixels. If it exceeds for more than 2 pixels for an extended period of time, your image will most likely have star trails in it. You also want to watch the auto guide star here. If you see the auto guide star fade, this means that clouds have most likely rolled in. It is quite normal for some systems to exceed a guide error of 1 pixel regularly. This is normal, and it is dependent on the system's focal length and image scale. On G8, as an example, the focal length is about 3 meters and has an image scale of 0.65 arcseconds per pixel. Due to the increased resolution, the telescope system and mount has to work a lot harder to keep the guide star centered. It is not normal for any of our systems to regularly exceed a guide error of more than 2 pixels on a constant basis. If this happens, it most likely means your exposure will show star trailing. This is typically caused by a gust of wind. Now that the image run has now completed, let's take a look at the Preview Last Image button.